So, dear friends, today I'm going to talk about Ketu in the first house, the south node in the Lagna, in the first house. And as you know, I'm talking about the wonderful sutras from a rare text called as Chamatkar Chintamani. Now, remember the thing with the rare texts like Chamatkar Chintamani is that they give everything in the form of a sutra, which is like you can say it's like an packed and coded, compressed kind of form. So if a beginner goes to Chamatkar Chintamani, reads it, he's going to say that the author is just making a judgment about people who have a certain planetary placement. But when the experienced person, someone like me who's seen charts for more than a decade, thousands of charts, when we look at it, we see that there's a deeper meaning that needs to be unpacked. So just like on your computer, you have these compressed files, zip files, which save space, which make it easy to move your files, which make it easy to, it also keeps them safe. It also occupies less space. In the same manner, we have these compressed sutras encoded and, packed in a very small paragraph. And then the astrologers who know how to read charts, who got their basics right, who learned sincerely from their teachers, they can unpack it. Because you need to think about the sutra, how it applies in order to expound on it, to expand on it. Okay, so let's talk about the south node Ketu in the first house. Let me share the sutra with you. So here we have Ketu Bhava Phal. This is the fruits of Ketu, the results of Ketu. This is the Sanskrit Sutra. And I will read the Sutra in Hindi, which is highlighted line by line and explain to you what it means. जिस मनुष्य के जन्म समय में केतु लगन में हो, वह मनुष्य भ्राताओं के साथ कलह करने वाला और दुर्जनों से भय पाने वाला होता है. So this means that the person who has Ketu in the Lagna will have conflicts with his brothers and fear from negative people. So definitely when someone has Ketu in the first house, we see that they are a little withdrawn. These people who have Ketu in first house, because Ketu is about being introvert in some sense, and they might hold a grudge against someone, but the other person may not know, because Ketu is also very secretive. So I believe this comes from here because, and also Ketu is the demon whose head has been chopped off. So what we are seeing is that somewhere this person is under threat from some of the people who might be negative and things like that. So this doesn't happen in all the cases, but definitely there is a chance for some kind of reason for them to hide. Because when we are saying someone is hiding, Ketu is invisibility, is hidden things. So why are they hiding? Because they're perceiving some negativity. They want to protect themselves. So let's read the second line now. उसका मन व्याकुलता को प्राप्त होता है. His mind, his disposition might be a little restless, a little negative, और स्त्री आदि की चिंता से सदा उद्विग्न रहता है. So he might be worried, might be disturbed by things like women, by matters related to women. So what we are seeing here is that the mind can become restless with Ketu in the first house. Ketu can bring some sort of anxiety or depression, but also the people having Ketu in the first house, they will be concerned about their relationships with opposite sex. So remember that when Ketu is in the first house, it's throwing an aspect on the fifth house, the house of romance, And also Rahu is opposite in the 7th house. Ketu and Rahu are always opposite. So that means some kind of cheating, deception in relationships from either party can happen. And that can lead to some kind of disturbance. Uh, so Ketu, Rahu, definitely both of these, when they are on the Lagna, they are going to disturb a little bit. In fact, any planet which is near the Lagna will have a very big impact on the personality, because the Lagna or the first house, remember, it is the mind, it is the personality. Now, let's read the third line. शरीर में वात रोग से होने वाली अनेक प्रकार की पीड़ा रहती है. So different types of issues due to vata related ailments. So vata disturbance. Now in Ayurveda we have three doshas: vata, pitta and kapha. So vata is impacted when Ketu is in the first house. First house is the health. It's the body of the person, which is the first thing we see about a person. We see their body. So body of the person impacted by vata related ailments, the ailments related to air and ether as per Ayurveda. So Ayurveda doesn't look at body parts and their, it doesn't look at a human body like a vehicle, like a car where, you just remove the parts and put the spare parts. It's not like that. Ayurveda looks at the constitution, it looks at the three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and it looks at things more holistically. So Vata-related ailments include things like, it is air-related ailments or wind-related ailments. So those of you who know about Chinese medicine, who know about Greco-Persian medicine, Arabic medicine, you would be able to relate to this. The wind-related ailments. So wind-related ailments can be something related to respiratory system. It can be related to the bones. It impacts the bones, the joints, things like that. So this sutra is very deep. These lines are very deep, what we have heard, because they tell you the essence of what Ketu can do in the first house. And we can expand that in many ways. Ketu, remember, is a secretive influence. So when you meet people with Ketu in first house, my experience has been that, it's never possible to fully decode their mind. There's always something that is withdrawn, hidden. So I know people very closely from my family, from my friends, and they don't reveal everything. They have a deep insight into things, they have a deep intuition, but when you ask them about things, they don't reveal everything. So they are in a way secretive, sometimes shy, sometimes they don't want to show everything that they've got. And I looked through the list of clients that I have. I cannot share that with you for confidentiality reasons, but out of the thousands of clients I've seen and the case studies that I've seen, the people who have Ketu in first house, definitely I'm seeing the relationship issues that are mentioned uh, with the opposite sex, marriage related issues, because Rahu is in 7. And I've seen that these people, many of them, they have had divorces, they've had problems with their relationship. Some of them have not been able to get married till a very late age, multiple relationships and stuff like that. So the second part of the sutra or the paragraph is definitely applicable to them. The thing with brothers and sisters is also applicable. I think most of the people in my list, they are not very close to their brothers and sisters, or something is a little off in that direction, though I have to investigate more on that. It's not that I know everything, but there are some things that we can always investigate. And I found among the celebrity charts that I have, Steve Wozniak, who was the partner of Steve Jobs. He has Ketu in the first house. And this is someone who's famous, whose life is out there in the public to a great extent. So let's check Steve Wozniak, the inventor. Let me remove these annotations. Yeah, Steve Wozniak, Stephen Gary Wozniak, also called as the Woz. So he was a great inventor, great researcher. Ketu gives the ability to research, and Ketu gives the intuition that is needed for the inventor. Intuition and research, two very good qualities. So we are seeing that he was a great inventor. And I tried to check about his health, and when I look up, I see that he had a car crash which affected his face and the head. And the first house represents the face and the head of the person. So Ketu definitely, and he also had some loss of memory and things like that due to that accident. So Ketu in first house, yes, can affect the face and the head region due to illness, due to accidents, things like that. Also, we can see that he suffered from a sinus infection and also a flu around the time of COVID, but it was not the coronavirus, but again, infection related to the respiratory tract. So some of the health issues that are mentioned in the Chamatkar Chintamani, they have somewhat reflected in Steve Wozniak's life also. But we'll have to research this deep. We'll have to see the entire chart if we want to really come to something conclusive. But definitely something to go on. So friends, I hope this helps you to understand Ketu in first house more better. Think about these sutras. Uh, I would say ruminate on it. Keep on thinking what Ketu can do in the first house, and definitely you will stumble upon your own original insights, which are much more reliable than what you will do surfing on YouTube all the time. Okay, thank you. Cheers.